I have to admit this journey has been more diverting than I thought it would. The Barbary Coast is a rough place. There are a few things I think are just fine. Still, I must not let myself be distracted. Mr. Doubleday is the reason we are here, and we must find him. Who would have thought the mysterious red-haired woman was just a worker, though, at this brothel? For some reason I thought there was more to the story, but again, I am letting myself be distracted. I can't let that happen. I need to find that money. Doubleday has done well to fox me and my sister, but he will not have the final laugh, no. I will get what I am owed, one way or another. This is Red Moon Roleplay.
You've made your way over to the Chez Ahmed, which is very apparent a brothel.
Wow.
It smells of much perfume, and there's actually quite nice glass doors with large brass handles, and you can see in that there's more or less like a tea salon inside with very, very lavish sofas. And there sits a lot of women. Well, they're probably a little bit less dressed than you would expect in a Boston tea salon. But they have clothes in very bright colors and looks like expensive clothes, but not exactly the clothes you would.
Right, so it is a sort of finer place.
Yeah.
For company.
I have mixed feelings coming here with my sister. On one hand, I'm obviously looking, and on the other hand, I look to my sister. I feel a bit awkward.
Well, I'm not sure what to feel. I've never been quite sure what to make of people who sell their body for money, because if I like to believe that people have a choice, and it's unfortunate if they don't. I would prefer to help them out of there, but I also believe that they have to help themselves. I feel more bad for the people that come to buy these services. I look down at Bessie coming in by my side, and I'm thinking that she must be kind of overpowered by all these smells, but I know she has a very keen sense of smell, so I'm patting her on the head and say, "Do you feel anything, girl? Do you smell anything?"
She doesn't make any obvious distinctive mark, but you're greeted by a woman. Hello, welcome. How may we serve you?
Good evening, or...
sorry, these men are not allowed here. This man, he points to Dexter Colby.
I understand. Mr. Colby, if you would be so kind as to wait outside for a bit.
Of course, madam.
Miss Tremaine can see to our needs here, I'm sure.
Yeah. I turn back to her. My name is Anne Rutledge. I'm here looking for a missing person. A Mr. Cornelius Doubleday that we believe may have frequented this establishment quite a bit, and perhaps made a closer acquaintance with one of the employees.
Oh, nice to meet you. Mr. Doubleday, although I know him, he has not been frequenting these premises, but I do believe that you are looking for someone who knows him better.
Indeed we are, mademoiselle. Indeed we are. Perhaps, as I lean in, a lady of the red-haired persuasion.
You're quite well informed. I would, of course, let you meet her for the right sum.
And how much are we talking, mademoiselle?
Well, I'm certain you're not here to have her services. So I think you're more here to have a conversation.
I, of course, think to myself that this is ludicrous and that we would pay for this, but that is what they charge for time in whatever manner spent, really. I look to John and I nod to him to sort it out.
Well, they go to the side and sort the money out, and you are shown to a room upstairs where you see this lady. She's rather, I think you know how one looks when they have been taking opium. She's just
Yes,
spread out on the divan, and your butler whispers in your ear, I think she's on opium or laudanum.
Thank you.
Best keep your voice down. That sort of thing can make one quite sensitive to, well, everything, really.
Who's here?
Good evening, madame.
You're very many.
Yes, we're just here to talk, if you don't mind too much.
Well,
We have reason to believe that you may be the acquaintance of a certain Cornelius Doubleday,
yes.
and that you were checked in
cheating.
and that you were checked in at the Palace Hotel under the name of a Mrs. Doubleday.
Yes, that is also true.
Understand, and I go in and lean a little and do a gentlemanly sort of get to one leg. Understand, my dear, we are not here for anything too exciting. We're just merely concerned about his well-being and want to find out where he is. So don't think you're in any trouble or we're wasting your time or anything too taxing. We would just really appreciate the help of a lovely lady such as yourself.
How can I help? I'm just a slave, sold by Mr. Doubleday into this gruesome service. It's he sold me at a card game.
He put you up as a prize?
Yes, indeed.
That is absolutely revolting.
How much were you sold for?
What a question to ask.
Sister, there is method to my questioning. How much were you sold for?
Well, I think $500.
Make a mental note of this.
$500. And after that, you were taken from the Palace Hotel where you stayed with him and brought over here instead?
Well, there was actually much more to this that I do not care to discuss in any detail, but at some point he was sitting at a card game with Mr. Lamont, and apparently saw it wise to bet on his full house with my life. And he lost. And then Mr. Lamont sold me to Madame Cherie, and here I am.
How did you meet Mr. Doubleday from the start? Were you in fact married?
Not really. We were engaged to be married back east.
Back east?
Oh yes.
Where?
Well, I'm from New York, but we met in Boston.
You met in Boston. How long ago was this?
Well, it's a couple of months ago, and Mrs. Rutledge, I knew about you, and he told me that you were no longer engaged, that you had broken up.
Well, it seems like we've both been played.
Indeed we did.
And then he made his way over here with you, checking in there as his wife, and then he started gambling. Is that all he did while being here? Was that all we used my wealth for?
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was your wealth, but well, yeah, he spent a lot of money, and all of a sudden, the money that we had was gone, and well, he sold me.
Were there any individuals who he owed some money to in this very town?
Several, I believe, but he didn't really tell me about his financial dealings. I thought everything was just dandy and well, but then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Well, I confess, madam, I do feel for your situation. He has acted in a very manner unbecoming of a gentleman, I must admit.
I mean, I understand that he stayed for a while at a place called the Nugget. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't. We were staying at the Palace Hotel, and then I was rudely, I must admit, shipped off to Mr. Lamont's place down by the wharfs. And then
Who is Mr. Lamont, exactly?
seed individual, a slave trader.
I see, yes.
Is he working in the port? In the harbor?
He has a place in the harbor where he keeps his wares.
Does he associate with a gang or a group of Scandinavians?
Not that I know of. He has his group of ruffians.
And he played games with Mr. Doubleday. I'm starting to hope I never find him, but when I do, he will have a lot to answer for.
That I can agree with.
How about me? I'm locked in here in the worst kind of slavery.
I go over to John. I remark, it's a little bit on the coffers, isn't it? But $500. Don't suppose we have that in the kitty bank.
Well, we do.
I confess, I have a little bit of a conflict of interest here, as I'm thinking just about the amount of money, but I'm also thinking about the reputation of a gentleman. And I just cannot... What do you say, sister? I feel we might owe this woman at least some assistance. She might even be willing to assist us a little more if she had a better outlook on her situation.
We owe her nothing. It's Mr. Doubleday that owes her everything, and her life.
Yes, but, you know...
We will find him, and when we do, we will find out the truth. And then he will have to answer for all of this. And if we have to be the ones paying this debt, then maybe so be it. But I'm not just taking this woman's word for everything and hearing that as the final verdict.
Very well, sister, you know best, but how can you dispute her word? I mean, she is truly a troubled woman and hardened times.
All the more reason to lie.
Madam, I believe I might be speaking out of term here, but I don't feel good about leaving someone enslaved in a brothel. Maybe we could work out something with
What do you have in mind?
I'm not sure, but like if this stands, I might have to come back here myself and breaking her out, because I'm not leaving someone like that.
We are not leaving completely. We're not leaving this town, and I intend to finish this business. I understand your concern, Miss Tremaine, and I can also see our responsibility in this, dear brother. But as it falls right now, we haven't finished our business, and we haven't sorted out the whole story. That things are unraveling as we travel and as we speak to more people, but we've not reached the end of the road.
Very well, madam.
I nod to my sister and I just remark to Miss Tremaine, hopefully this venture will end in a little bit more finance on my end. I'd be more than happy to supply you with a little bit of money on the side to assist in this matter, perhaps. Of course, discretionary.
Very well, sir.
Good. And I'm sorry to have to leave you like this, Miss is...
Well, I go by the name of Jacqueline these days, but my real name is Miss Deverell.
Miss Deverell, I'm sorry to leave you like this, but we will come back and we will sort this out. I'm sure there's some sort of misunderstanding.
Yeah, well, I just think that my life is ruined.
Just know that there's still one gentleman who believes that a lady such as yourself should not be forced into such situations.
We are going back to the East Coast within the week, and if so, we hope to take you with us, if that is indeed where your home is. Maybe, were you in a line of work before this, Miss Devereaux?
Well, certainly I had an occupation as a typist.
A typist? It's not a bad occupation. We may have need for you in our household, or may know an acquaintance that may need of your skills. So,
I would be most pleased anywhere but here. This is wretched.
I agree, and I understand. We will come back. Thank you for your help, Miss Devereaux.
And the question is, where now?
Well, we should have to wait and see if Mr. Valentine comes back after his investigations at the docks.
Yes.
And then we have... The only other trace is the nugget.
Very well then, I suppose for the moment we should all reconvene once again, and I will make my way outside, once more looking over some of the finery in the area, although admittedly my taste for the place has soured a little. I'm fond of these diversions when they are lawfully run. This makes me a little uncomfortable.
I meet up with Mr. Colby outside, and I nod and I say, we found out a fair bit of information here. It seems, well, she is upstairs, the lady that was earlier checked in at the Palace Hotel, and I relay all the information that we have, basically.
I see.
About her coming from there and having been together with him for quite a while, and another person who was engaged, said to be married. It's turning into quite a foul carousel of things.
Indeed, madam.
What we have left now is to visit the nugget and, of course, to wait for Mr. Valentine to return from the docks.
As you say, you in the corner of your eye, you can see your brother wandering off on the other side of the street. And as he's standing there, you can also see a man with a kind of crew cut, short hair, a little goatee, large individual that stumbles over to him. Well, it's the money of your life. He holds out a bit. It looks like Jack Murphy, maybe.
Ah!
How about that?
Well...
He's drunk as fuck.
Well, excuse me, sir. Just a moment to fetch my wallet, as you said. Money or life.
At that, the gun is in his hand is chopped off by a sword when Mrs. Tremaine just steps in and dispatches him and kicks him to the side. Oh, I'm truly sorry.
Well, that was impressive.
My hand!
And
Blood is pulsing from his open wound. It actually also squirts on your trousers.
Oh.
You bitch!
I first of all gave a little round of applause at the act itself. Then, seeing the blood on my clothing, I sneer a little, and I go, goodness me, man, let's... Hold still, and I actually reach into... I do carry around a little bit of bandages on my person, and I just cannot abide a man bleeding all over me. I actually attempt to dress his wound very basically.
Yeah. Well, you know this. It's not that hard. You need to actually close off with the tourniquet. And, well, he has a belt on him, and you can use his gun or even to and you fix him up.
Yes, and I go be still, man, be still, honestly.
She actually steps on him, so he is still. He twitches a bit, but you...
Thank you, Mr. Tremaine. Now, Mr. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
I'm Jack. Who are you?
Ah, Jack Murphy.
Well, I wouldn't admit to any of that things. I didn't do anything.
Well, you did threaten my life just now, sir.
No, sir, come now. It was a joke. Just a joke. I'm a little bit drunk. And now I lost my hand.
No, you'll be fine, Mr. Murphy. You'll be absolutely fine. And I then say to Miss Tremaine, I believe there was a little bounty on this individual, wasn't there?
I believe so too.
Well, I'm sure we could come to a mutual arrangement, Mr. Colby. If we have a little bit of time to see this man safely to a law enforcement station, after all we've stabilised him, and maybe you could share it equally among the to 3 of us. Or 4, actually, even though Valentine wasn't here. I feel bad.
Much obliged, of course. We could do that.
Excellent!
If that's what you want. We'll put this individual behind bars where he belongs. And
Wonderful. And I go over to my sister and go, "Did you see that? How exciting! Oh, that was a close one."
As all this happened, I'm first, of course, shocked, perhaps more by the swift interference of Miss Tremaine. That was very impressive. I've been patting Bessie's head, probably more to calm myself than calm her, because she was probably up on her legs with all this action taking place as well. So as you come over and say this, I'm handing over a handkerchief to you, brother, your trousers.
Yes. Oh my goodness, this won't do at all. This is one of the reasons why I didn't really... Blood gets everywhere.
You will have to go home and change them, I think.
Oh, well, I mean, The question is it worth doing now, while we escort our friend Mr. Murphy to a place... I doubt he knows anything of actual use. Although I say to Mr. Colby, may as well give him a bit of a sober up and a question just in case he happens to know individuals who might rob people like Mr. Doubleday.
Oh, I see. You can't really question him here out in the street. Should we bring him to the hotel? Seems a little bit...
Well, maybe we should do this at the police station.
Take him to the police.
The sheriff's office, yes.
It's close enough.
Get him out of here. And you get changed.
Yes, sister. I'm sorry.
Mr. Bellinger arranges with the coach. You take him. It's actually just down the street from where you are, and down here. And you turn him in. You get the $1,000 reward, split it equally among the 4 of you. He's put behind bars, one hand missing. And you go to the hotel and fix your trousers. Cedric comes back around the time where your trousers have been changed, and madam, I've found a little bit of information
very
that
good.
might be interesting. There's said to be a league of robbers, Swedish robbers.
Swedish robbers?
Yeah.
Can the exotics continue?
Down in the wharf, they have a ship. It's called the Christina.
Christina?
Yeah, the VS Christina. It's a ship, apparently. I've seen it myself. I tracked it down.
A big ship?
It's... I wouldn't sail it... I'm not a sailor, but it's large enough. I think they live on that ship. That's... I saw some of the people on it.
Very well. And did you find any ties to Cornelius?
Not really. I never boarded the ship because there were some Swedes on it. Might have been robbers. I wanted to solve this in a discreet way.
Did they have square heads?
Well, madam, if I may, I think the square thing, it refers to the little hats that the ladies have.
Oh. Do you think this is something worth investigating, Mr. Valentine?
Possibly, but I didn't want to go in there myself, knowing that there were at least 4 of them, maybe more. But with my colleagues, Dexter and Mr. Main.
Well, most other things that we have are dead ends. Oh, and I see you in your changed trousers.
Yes, I come back having changed and looking quite happy.
It's a smart suit, sir, if I may say so.
Thank you, Mr. Colby. Clearly a man of taste. I like a man of taste. Yes.
We have a trace to follow up on the boat, or the ship. There might be some Swedes there, and I'm not completely sure how they would tie in together with Cornelius, but we have that, and we have, of course, the nugget. And we didn't get much information from Miss Devereaux, so I suppose we should choose one of them.
I suppose. It does sound quite exciting, but also potentially a little dangerous. You lot investigating this boat. After all, if the individual is involved in, as you say, the unlawful slavery of individuals, perhaps Mr. Doubleday was collected as insurance of some kind, or, I suppose the only thing I don't get, maybe you can help Mr. Colby, is that they already had got what they wanted from him, really. What would be the point in then taking him as a extra bonus? It doesn't seem necessary.
I think many men are ready to take an extra bonus if they get the chance to get one. So, I say we investigate the boat, because that's the one I hope the most to reveal to be a dead end.
So you make your way down to the wharf, and by this time it's actually gotten dark. This place is now a completely different area. There's a lot of people. There's crowds. There's all sorts of like circus people and salesmen, and there's people playing music in the street, and there's it's a carnival, really.
Wow.
But down at the wharf, it's a little bit less active. Some of the ships at the forefront are used as taverns or probably brothels as well. But Mr. Valentine takes you out on the Vallejo wharf, and you walk out to a place, and he says, "Now this is the boat, the third one on the right from the red one. You can see there's actually no one around on top of the boat. They might be inside. I saw some people there earlier today. Do you think we should make ourselves known to them, or should we sneak in?"
I must confess, in this venture, sister, I believe subtlety might be the better approach. We don't really want to get anyone annoyed at us. We simply wish to investigate.
Oh, I don't know. We're quite a big company. Would we be able to sneak on board, do you think?
Well, there's not a lot of people around.
And something takes the better of me, because I really want to find out now. Let's do it. Yes, let's do it.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Colby, perhaps you could offer some strategic advice here. I feel this is more your individual's field, after all.
Well, I think that me and Mr. Main, we should sneak aboard first, and then if we see the coast is clear, then we wave you over. So we leave you with Mr. Valentine, and I presume Mr. Bellinger is also armed, and that we can safely leave you here.
Yes.
Yes. John, did you bring my Remington?
Of course I did.
Thank you.
He snaps open the walnut case and brings out a rifle.
I didn't even realize you'd brought that, sister.
I've oiled it and loaded, so it's now armed and dangerous.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, John.
I pat down my little compact pistol. I feel, well, hopefully it won't be needed, but just in case.
You can also see that he keeps a little revolver in his pocket. But you're waiting there. These two sneak aboard, and then they come back up and wait.
All right. And I'll start making my way over.
You can just roll 1 d20 each.
Come now, Bessie.
Yeah,
16.
like a ninja.
And 1.
You step in some kind of bucket or something, and it's like, and it falls over, and it just makes all the noise ever, and everyone's like freezes, and it's quiet, and then you can hear someone downstairs like, "Hello, hello." So someone is yelling from down at the somewhere inside the ship.
I tense up and I look very tensely at the company.
By this point, I'd already made my way significantly further.
These two take post next to the door, so they're standing ready if someone comes up.
Dolby and Tremaine takes the post by the door.
I mouth quietly to my sister. Sister, just be yourself. What reason would they have to suspect a fine, upstanding lady such as yourself?
at that, you hear someone exiting the door, and like that, the person is taken down by Jesse.
I was
who holds her sword to his throat.
And I was just about to give an excuse of why I would be on this boat with my dog. But, is all I get the time to say.
I give up. Don't hurt me. I have nothing on me.
Shh. We didn't come here to rob you. We are looking for a person. And I gestured to Miss Tremaine to...
She eases up on her grip, but she still has a sword.
Mm-hmm. And Mr...
Jag heter Lars Jönsson. My name is Lars Jönsson.
Mr. Jönsson. Well, my name is Anne Rutledge, and I've come here looking for a certain Cornelius Doubleday.
Yeah, he is left now.
Where to?
He went with the others. I probably shouldn't say.
No, that's fine. Where?
Well, they're going now to the Garden of the Light.
He is going to the Garden of the Light?
Well, yeah.
After having been thrown out?
Well, they were going to... and then at this, Jesse apparently notices that he's about to not say, so she tightens up again with the sword to his throat. Yeah, I'll tell you. They're going to rob it. They're going to rob the place.
I nod towards...
Don't cut my throat, please.
I nod towards Miss Tremaine as appreciating her tough grip on the situation. I smile. Well, look at that, where desperation has led him. Look at that. Mr. Doubleday is going to try and rob the people that threw him out.
I have to admit I am rather surprised at this turn of events, but I suppose, Mr. Colby, perhaps we should be vacating this boat and heading in that direction.
He is gonna get thrown out. No. Well, he's gonna get himself killed.
What do we do with this Johnson individual?
Thank him for his time. Thank you, sir. So sorry for the intrusion. It was all just, like I said, we're just concerned about our friend's well-being. Understand? Yes.
Yeah.
You've been very helpful.
No worries. It's okay with me. If you just let me go, I will tell no one about anything.
I look to Mr. Valentine. Mr. Valentine, would you please have a quick look downstairs to make sure there's no one else there?
He goes down. Dexter is like hanging around He's kind of being the liaison, so he can see what happens with Valentine while he's with you as well. Cedric comes back up with some maps of. I think this is maybe the plan. Looks like there's a. It's a building map, and you think this might be the Garden of the Light. There's also a room which is marked as the safe, and then there's some... apparently someone has been making plans on how to get to the safe room.
How many individuals do you think are involved in this, Mr. Valentine?
Well, it looks like there are 4 people at the premises. There's someone's going to do... According to this line here, there's a bomb man going to blow the safe open.
And with it...
Well, that would be Harry. He's the dynamitar, as we say. He's going to blow the place up.
Well, we'd better make haste if we're gonna catch them before they get there.
Yes. Mrs. Tremaine, Mr. Colby.
I will tell no one a thing if you just don't do anything to me.
Does he carry...
He has some gun, yeah. But Mr. Colby has already taken...
Mr. Colby, could you deal with this individual up to your discretion, and then let us head on?
I'll tie him down and we'll leave him.
Yes.
That's okay.
Good.
No offence, just in case you decide to assist your companions, which we think you may have just betrayed.
Never do that. That would be... I'm very repentant now. I really want to live a life on the good side from now on.
I'm already moving out of the ship, off the ship. I'm already moving off the ship, whistling to Bessie to come along.
Oh, calm down, Bessie. There's worse people than me to deal with right now.
You're getting off the ship. The Pinkertons deal with Mr. Johnson, and you get off the boat with a map of the Garden of the Light.
Right. The question is, Mr. Colby, what's the best way to approach this? Try and engage these ruffians, sort of using their own plan against them? Should we inform the owner of the incoming assault?
Well, it is a lawless area, but usually I would notify the police, but it seemed like this police force weren't really patrolling in this area at all.
I couldn't care less about their little heist. We're going to get Mr. Doubleday, get him out there, get the answers from him, and then we'll make sure he gets what he deserves. That's all I care about. The rest, they can blow this place sky high.
We could wait outside where their exit points are and just grab it when it comes up.
That sounds like a good idea.
We'll be lying in waiting.
Ooh, like an ambush.
Yeah, exactly.
Good thinking. We'll do that. We'll put ourselves just where they're about to exit. We'll snatch Mr. Doubleday, put him in a carriage, and then go off. But go back to the hotel, deal with him there. That's what we will do.
Very well, sister. That seems agreeable to me. After all, I'm really just keen to get my hands on Doubleday. He definitely has crossed us both, sister. I can tell you that for sure.
So you hurry up Pacific Street and come up to the Garden of the Light as you hear a loud noise in the form of an explosion. And you're not sure, but you think you could hear someone say, okay, yeah, the smell. And you hurry in on the back side where the exit point is supposed to be according to the plan. And you scurry in and hide behind some boxes and stuff. And in just 2 minutes, the door is kicked open and there's some people coming out. You hear some gunshots being fired inside the building. And in front of this little gang is Cornelius Doubleday. He's running with he's got a coffer, and it seems to be filled with money because there's actually some bills losing off him as he runs down towards you.
I fire my Remington on the ground in front of him.
Oh, stop shooting! Whoa, I'm just taking care of this.
Hello, darling.
Oh, darling! Wow, are you here? How did you end up in here?
Get him, and I gesture for the detectives to just take him.
They
and get
take
us out
him
of there.
down like this. Oh, there's been some misunderstanding. Stop it! No! Don't stop tickling me.
Get him to the hotel.
Wait! Stick gun. They just rush him off, and you see that there's some other guys coming out. Wait a minute now. Okay.
I have my weapon ready, and I go, gentlemen,
Yeah, okay, we're fine.
Good, you just stay there. I go over, by the way, to some of those bills.
Yep.
Are there a couple of hundreds lying around?
Sure.
I very quickly pocket 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. And I just very discreetly just sort of put it into my back pocket, and I go, gentlemen, feel free to do whatever you want with the rest of this. Good day. Let's be going, sister.
Oh, much obliged. You take your carriage and you leave with your guy. And you see them rushing off with the rest of the money.
And in the carriage as we go along, I don't think I even stay in the same carriage as him because I don't want to. No, I'm going in the other carriage. I don't want to see him.
Ride in the carriage with him. I'm a little anxious as I look around. After all, I don't want us to be associated with what just occurred. But I'm hoping, under cover of night, I'm thinking I say to Mr. Colby, I think we probably have the least of the concerns of the police at the moment. There are 3 or 4 men with stolen property running around after all.
For sure. Excellent. And also, I mean, the police will probably not even set their foot inside of the Barbary Coast.
Excellent. And then I lean in, Mr. Doubleday.
I'm so happy to see you. It's so good to see you. Thank you for helping me. I was taken slave, captured by these squarehead Swedish people. They're completely mad. They were blowing up things, like they blew up the safe, and with this at this Garden of Delight place. I've never even been there before.
Mr. Doubleday, all I wish to know is what happened to my $500.
Your $500.
My 500, and I lower my tone a little, $500. What happened to it? Indulge me at least on that, old friend.
Wait, I'm at the loss here. Your am I?
You got me to write you a check for $500. Or rather,
wasn't it
engaged in
a little bit more than just 500? Well, I have your $500 right here. He takes out like a lump of money.
I take it from him and begin counting.
Well,
how much is there?
At least $2,000.
Well, isn't that wonderful? And I just sort of pocket it.
So I'm sorry if I didn't pay you back any debt that I had, but I'm so happy that you. I was forced to carry and help them. They forced me. They were going to shoot me.
I'm sure they were,
So
Mr.
rude.
Doubleday. Now, I'll be honest with you. I am no longer that offended at your slights. You've actually paid me back. However, you have wronged my sister greatly, and I care for my sister indeed. So I'm afraid that, well, Mr. Colby, I don't really think we have anything more to say to this gentleman, do we?
I don't know. It depends on what the missus says.
Although, can I trust in all your discretion? And I just sort of take out a couple of hundred notes from that 2,000. My sister doesn't really need to know about this financial matter.
You keep your money.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
Well, fair enough then, Mr. Colby.
We will not talk about this anymore.
Understood. There's my thanks.
Right.
And I pocket the money and I just lean back from Mr. Doubleday and go, oh, Doubleday, I must admit, I really thought a bit better of you than this.
I've been taken advantage of since I got here. I was trying to help the poor children of Barbary Coast, and then I was kidnapped myself. And
I tap my cane on the ground a few times. I go, quiet, Doubleday, quiet now.
And as we go in our other carriage, me, Bessie, and Mr. Bellinger, or John, I say to John, quite a mess, isn't it?
Well, it seems like he's strayed from the path.
Yeah, I would say so. And quite a while ago, as it seems.
It seems so.
This is what we'll do. I want you to resolve the situation with Miss Devereaux in the establishment that she is currently held in. I want her to be brought back with us, home to Boston, to the East Coast. And we will also bring with us Mr. Doubleday, and he will be brought to the court, and he will answer for all that he has done, for the people that he has wronged. And then, it is also my wish that we establish some sort of help here for the people that are clearly suffering in this area.
Very well. I will see to it. You don't want to speak to him anymore?
I believe we'll have some final words now, but I can't see how it would affect my judgment of him. I also, of course, want to know what dealings my brothers might have had with him. But I think that will come out between the three of us. And yes, We will talk about this in the hotel room.
You take Miss Doubleday up to the hotel room, and your Pinkerton detectives are very aware of the security situation, but then you're at the Excelsior Hotel, so nothing happens. It's all good. They actually bring him up they put something in his mouth so he can't continue the shattering that he's been going on. But you are in the hotel room with him tied to a chair.
Mm. And I nod to the Pinkerton to remove the things from inside his mouth.
Anne!
Corn.
How has this been my life now? That I'm a prisoner in every... wherever I go, I get tied up and forced to do.
I've heard a lot of stories now, Mr. Doubleday. About you, about a Mrs. Doubleday, or should I call her Miss Devereaux?
Such an unfortunate misunderstanding.
Oh, really?
Miss Devereaux was my secretary, as you might remember, from when I was down south and tried to help those poor orphan children. She was typing out all sorts of things, and then therefore I brought her with me when I was going here to help the...
Enough. Don't, please, dignify me with some piece of truth.
Well, it's the truth, more or less. There's so much that has happened, and now I'm. Can't you at least just untie me? This is beneath me.
It is. Untie him.
I'm sort of standing in the room, quiet, just sort of tapping my cane.
So, someone has been wronged. It's not just me, but also another girl who is currently drugged up on opium in a low-life establishment, going through horrible times because you put her up for a bet.
No.
Do you deny it? Do you honestly deny it after all this? After what we've been through?
I was forced to do this.
By who?
I didn't have any money to help people with, so I tried to...
Because what happened with that money? What happened with that money? What about this? And I take out the check that we shaded before. $2,000 placed on this meat, this piece of meat of a boxer. All signed by you.
I had the perfect plan to give back money to the community of... if I just would have won this wager, I could have set up a school.
When did you become a gambler? How did you end up in this?
I saw this opportunity. I was really trying to set up a school in Barbary Coast for the poor children.
And what happened to the money that you had? What happened to our money that we had?
Well, I started building a church and
You started building a church?
Yes.
And what happened to that church?
Well, it burnt down to the ground. It burnt down. There's no fire department in this city. So all the money just went up into flames, to smoke.
And the $2,000 that you bet on?
I had to take a loan from the Chinese.
From the Chinese?
Yeah.
So you owe them money as well?
Wonderful people. Their culture is 3,000 years old.
Yeah?
Very, very upstanding citizens.
And you sought to rob them of their things as well?
No! I was taking a loan. I was going to pay it back.
Sister, is it worth saying any more to Mr. Doubleday?
No, it's not. Clearly not. Because we're not getting anywhere here. And what about you, brother?
What?
Is there anything else I should know?
No, I don't believe so.
Miss Tremaine, she's standing next to him and she's just looking away, pointing to...
What's that you have in your pocket there?
Oh, it's my little bit of the reward money we got from earlier.
And I go up and I snatch it from you.
That's a lot of bills, some falling out. This is like a bundle of bills.
Oh, beautiful. What?
Looks like the prize from a robbery.
Did you just pick up that from the street now?
Yes, I did.
How dignified, brother.
Oh, that's the children's money that was going to.
Oh, the
quiet,
hell
you.
with the children's money, Doubleday. All right, now I'll
How
admit
could you?
He owed me some money, sister. I am just collecting it back. I'm one of the ones wronged by him. I admit I trusted him a bit too much.
I heard you say that before, and I'm very curious to hear what that was about.
Well, I look very awkward for a
We've come
moment.
this far. Please, brother, just spit it out.
All right, I didn't want you to know because I know you'd be very cross with me. You're always very cross with me. I admit that Mr. Doubleday, perhaps on his, nearing the disappearance, which I did not know about, I should add, did not know about he was going to suddenly vanish, but I did believe he had a new project at line and he convinced me to share some of our funds with him.
Did you
Without your
approve
knowledge.
of this, John?
Well, I was going to build a school and the church here, so.
I'm not talking to you, John. Did you approve of this transaction?
No, I have not paid out any money to these two gentlemen.
The bank notified me of missing parts from our account. Is this what that is?
Yes.
Was
yes,
it you
was.
that went to the bank to take these things out?
Yes, it was. I just wanted to show that I could. I can make good decisions with money sometimes. You
I
don't give
admit it was me. It was me who went to the money. You helped me with the check, but it was me who went to.
Yes, that's the important part. He convinced me that it was in your best interests, and I believed him. I only went behind your back on it because I just thought you'd say no, as you always do. You say no at these things.
I just rub my forehead at this and I say, poor gullible brother. I'm not surprised. Look, I know you meant the best, and I believe this man just as much as you did. If you have given him money, you've done nothing worse than what I have. All right?
Well,
now, all right? That's
yes,
fine.
I could have been a little more observant, perhaps.
Of course, I could have been a lot more observant. It's fine,
knew
but you
that
shouldn't.
he was a little bit of a charlatan, I confess. But I didn't
How would you
want-
know this?
I knew he liked to gamble. And
You knew he gambled before this.
Yes, yes.
He was a gambler back in Boston as well.
He was. But I knew you liked him, and I didn't feel it was my place to I thought...
But you trusted him as well.
Yes.
It's true. I've fallen to the devil for in gamblery.
Quiet, Doubleday!
It's enough. It's fine, brother.
Dexter.
But please don't ever go behind my back again. I have been... If you want to invest in something, I probably would have... Thank you, Dexter. I probably would have gone along with it because I've been believing in this man just as much as you have. Now, this is what we'll do. We're bringing Doubleday back. We're bringing him to court. And it is my intention... And it is my intention, and I look at Miss Tremaine, that we also bring along Miss Devereux for this, as she has been wronged just like me, and we will both testify to this, as will you, brother, and we will have this all resolved in court as it should be in Boston.
Doubleday tries to get out of the chair. He runs 2 steps and then he's taken down by Colby.
Good work, Colin. Good
Put
work.
back in the chair.
And I am...
sister, I feel I'll just mention that this money in question, I just need to give it to a few individuals in Boston. And then everything will be good.
You owe money to people.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
that's on your account. And it will be kept in your account. And for the rest, I believe we are done here for today. What a long day it has been. Miss Tremaine, thank you. I believe you've done an excellent job, as have the both of you, Mr. Valentine, Mr. Colby. John, you have the plan. Make sure to get that poor girl out of that establishment this night. And we will leave as soon as we can back to Boston.
Of course, madam.
Yes, and I'll just walk beside Miss Tremaine and be like, maybe it's better she knew in the end, maybe.
I think so too.
And I dismiss the people from my room, and I find my favorite slippers where John has placed them. And I call it a night.
You have listened to a special episode of Red Moon Roleplaying where we play The Baron of Barbary Coast for Western. The Baron of Barbary Coast was written by Anders and Tove Gillbring. Western is published by Åskfågeln. The music was made by Phonotech and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more delicious drone and dark ambient. As always, a big thank you to all supporters. If you appreciate the show and want to encourage our work, head over to Patreon and see if you want to support the show there. We hope you enjoy this special episode and look forward to meeting again. Thank you for listening.